Hi. So I don't have a grand story about life on other planets and about being a starseed and about space operas of any sort. I'm just going to share with you my own personal journey, my own personal connection with my body and with the body wisdom and what that actually has meant to me in my life. So ever since I was a small child, the times where I felt absolutely the happiest, where I felt the most joy, where I felt the most connection, the most centered, the most authentically me, was the times when I was physically active, when I was present in the body. I felt such a state of deep flow and like time disappeared and I just felt really myself. And I felt the connection to some higher aspect of myself. And in fact, it was always physical activity was a way in which I found to make sense of the crazy chaos that was my family growing up and the pain and the suffering that I saw in the world around me and all the things that made no sense to me. When I returned to my body and I returned to physical activity, I found I could process those things and I could make sense of them and I could find healing from them. And so that connection I had with my body was always very powerful, particularly when I was engaging physically in nature. And I have this very powerful memory from when I was about 12 or 13 years old, probably pre-puberty. And I was on holiday with my family at a resort. And all the other children were at the swimming pool, making friends and playing with each other and flirting and socializing. And I was climbing the cliff face behind the resort. And I mean, nowadays we'd never let a child do that, but nonetheless, that's what I was doing. I was just wearing my swimsuit and I had bare feet and I was completely alone and I was totally unself-conscious and I was just climbing the cliff face. And I felt so strong and powerful in my body and so connected to myself and just so in flow and so a part of something much larger than myself, just really, truly, authentically me and my beingness. And I used to experience that same feeling when I used to dance. I was a dancer from the age of 4 and I'm still a dancer. And when I'm dancing, I feel that same thing, that connection to something much bigger than myself. And I feel it, I experience it through my body, that connection with my true self, with my beingness. But of course, the world doesn't reward us for being. The world rewards us for doing. And my parents made it very clear to me that they expected me to accomplish and to achieve things in this world, and that their love and acceptance was dependent upon my performing in those areas. So I did. I followed the path of the mind. I worked really hard at school. I did really well, went to university, gathered a whole host of degrees and qualifications, and went on and eventually got the big corporate job. And I was earning the big bucks and I was achieving and I was successful and I had all the toys and, you know, the cars and the house and the overseas holidays and the clothing and the jewelry and I was deeply unhappy. I felt such a deep disconnect from myself, such an emptiness inside of myself, such a meaninglessness. You know, in the corporate world, if you achieve your budget this year, next year it's budget plus 30%. And it's just this mad churn that goes on and on and on. I started to feel like this organ grinder monkey. There was very, highly trained little monkey, very good at performing to create wealth for shareholders who had more money than they ever knew what to do with. But it felt like I was doing nothing that had any meaning whatsoever. And so I walked away from it all. I walked away. And my partner at the time and I bought a piece of land, a small holding, a very remote place, high up in the mountains, right on the border of the forest. And we built an off-the-grid home, mostly with our own hands. And I began the journey back to self, back to my own body, back to my own connection with the land, my own connection with the forest, my connection with something more meaningful than just the stuff of the world. And, I have a memory from that early time, so this is an off-the-grid home, so we collected our water, rainwater off the roof into big tanks, and that was the water we had to use. And we had a wild cat, it's called the Janet cat, that used to hang out on our roof, and then it would obviously poop on the roof. And then you didn't want that poop going into the water tank. So I'd have to get up on the roof and remove the poop off the roof on a regular basis. And I remember one evening, it was about 10 p.m. and it started to rain. And I suddenly recalled, oh my goodness, I hadn't cleaned the poop off the roof for a while. So there I was up on the roof at 10 p.m. with the rain pouring down with a torch, looking for Janet cat poop. And it was freezing cold and I was soaking wet. And I suddenly thought, my God, I couldn't get more different from, being a corporate boardroom warrior to being up on the roof looking for poop. And I also realized I'd never been happier since my childhood when I was climbing that cliff face. I suddenly realized I was more myself, more authentically myself than I had been for a very, very long time. And so, so this was the journey back to self, back to authentic self, back to that connection to something deeper, something bigger than myself. And I realized in this journey that our mind lies to us all the time. But the body never lies. The body can't lie. And the body is always present in the now. And so if we find our way back into our body, we find our way back into that connection with authenticity, and we find our way back into that connection with something deeper, something bigger than ourselves. And I realized that most of the religions, the organized religions and the great spiritual traditions are all about making the body wrong. It's about the body is at best a distraction, and at worst it's seen as some kind of evil temptation which keeps us off of the true path. And even in kind of new age or newer kind of spiritual paths, there's this idea, as Anne said earlier on, that we need to reside in those upper three chakras, and it's love and light, and it's up and out, and it's ascending our consciousness, and it's never really inhabiting and being present in our bodies. And actually what we do then is we actually lose the juice. We lose the power, our own authentic power. And so for me, those spiritual traditions, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. They're a very, very valid pathway, possibly to enlightenment. One can follow that path. It's a very masculine path. It's I'm not my body, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions, I'm not my possessions, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. Till we reach the point of what am I? I'm a single point of consciousness, and then we can realize unity consciousness. But that's not the path of my spirituality and my religion, which I find through my body. My path is a deeply feminine path, and it is the path of down and in. And it is a path that I access via the body. And it is a path of, I am all of that. I'm all of that. And nothing gets left behind. It is, I need to acknowledge and be present to all the aspects of who I am, to my emotions, to my shadow, to all the aspects that I am. I am all of that. And it's finding love, acceptance, and integration of all of that. And then unity consciousness dawns. And it is, for me, a very delicious path. It's a yummy path. It's a path of sensuality and sexuality. It's a path of embracing all that I am. And it's juicy. And that's where the power lies. That's where the connection lies, the intimacy lies, the beautiful, wonderful things in life lie. So for me, that's the only path that I can follow. And so that brings me to what I'm going to be doing next year. So in 2025, in the ONEtribe, I'm going to be offering the initiates pathway. So that is the pathway into the tribe for 2025. And it is a path called Deep Body Wisdom. And it's going to take the entire year. And in this path, I'm going to be sharing with you my spirituality, my pathway to enlightenment, if you want to call it that way. And I'm going to be sharing everything that I've learned in my life, all the things that have worked for me, and it's going to be super fun and exciting, and as I say, yummy and delicious, and also challenging, because we're going to be dealing with shadow, we're going to be doing emotional release work, we're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff, but with the focus on processing via the body's deep wisdom. So if any of that sounds exciting and intriguing to you, then I suggest that you visit the website of ONEtribe, ONEtribe.com, and go and have a look, read a little bit further about it, and see if you resonate with it. See if you resonate with the path of deep body wisdom. And if you do, Well, I hope to see you next year. I hope to share with you and I hope to journey with you.
And now I'll return. So, folks, I guess what I want to bring this to a close with is clearly I brought in, I spoke about some of the spiritual gifts that I brought in. I brought into this lifetime gifts that are about the upper chakras. The mental path that Lisa was talking about. I brought gifts about that in, and it's wonderful, and it's served me wonderfully, and I've been very happy to have them. But it's become so apparent to me that I couldn't get done here. I couldn't be complete here. I couldn't leave this world, this life, this journey behind. I would need to come back until I got this one missing puzzle piece. They say that no story is over until you're happy. All endings are happy endings because it's not over until you're happy. And it's
if you're not happy, it's not the ending.
If you're not happy, it's not the ending. And the path that Lisa presents is the happy path. It's when you finally come home here. And you let go of the idea that there's a home somewhere else. Sure, maybe there is. Maybe there are many homes, but you always, like a tortoise, you always carry your home with you. You are always home. It's just you've been rejecting home. So it's really time to come home, and it really is the joyful, juicy, delicious, wonderful journey that Lisa says it is. And I so strongly recommend coming to do Deep Body Wisdom with her. And at the same time, you can decide to what degree you want to engage with tribe, because Deep Body Wisdom is presented, as Lisa says, as an initiate's path to tribe. So if you come and do the journey, you've got 1 foot right into tribe already. So you can then decide, okay, that's it, you're going to join this tribe. So it's your opportunity to check out the tribe while you're doing the Deep Body Wisdom. If the whole tribe thing is not for you, just come and do the Deep Body Wisdom. That will change your life. I promise you it will change your life. And that finally brings me to the offer that I wanted to make. So everybody that signs up for tribe and therefore for Deep Body Wisdom, it's the same thing. You sign up for the same thing. Everybody that signs up for that in the month of December gets a free 1 hour consultation session, healing, conversation, consultation, all of that. Gets a free 1 hour with me in the year of 2025. So while you're doing your Deep Body Wisdom, you and I will have a deep conversation, and I'll bring everything that I have to bear. But the intention here particularly is for star seeds, because it's in my heart. I really want to give star seeds a hand up and help them to access all of the beautiful stuff that we have to share. But if you aren't a star seed, you can come along and have one of those conversations anyway, if that appeals to you. Okay, so sign up for ONEtribe. You'll find it, onenewearthtribe.com. Start at the beginning, because there's a lot to understand. You're joining a tribe. There's a lot to understand about what that is, about what joining a tribe really means, who the tribe really is. Read all about it, make your way to the join page. As an additional bonus, if you sign up in the month of December, you can get a 50% off. So it's normally $1,200 for the year with everything. So everything included, the Deep Body Wisdom and the belonging and the pod system and connection and training and sessions and stuff. It's packed full of stuff, a whole year of stuff for $1,200. But if you sign up in December, it's half. You can get it for $600, and you get an hour-long session with me, which normally goes for $250. So it sounds like a bargain to me. And that's what I wanted to say. Mm-hmm. So Lisa's clearly the right person for the job. This is her wheelhouse, and I'd love to share tribe with you. So there we go. That's what I wanted to say. Until next time, friends. With so much love. Bye-bye.
Bye.